Alright guys, I'm going to give you my review on the iPhone 4S. This phone is for Verizon network. Before I start, I will let everybody know that I am not biased. I am not an Apple fanboy, I'm not an Android fanboy. I don't prefer Windows phones. A phone is a phone, it works however it works. I'm not going to buy an Apple phone just because it's an Apple phone. So, I like the passcode feature here that we can have, which I believe you can do on some Android phones. Well, first of all, let's go on the outside of the phone here. We have obviously our microphones, our front-facing camera. We have a 3.5-inch display. I know most people were hoping that the screen would be bigger, but Apple kept it. It looks almost exactly like the iPhone 4, just better hardware inside. Then we have the Apple famous home button. On this side, we have a switch that controls your sound. If you push it down, it turns off the sound. If you flip it up, it activates your sound. Of course, you have the volume up and volume down buttons. On this other side, we really don't have anything. I think mostly where the antennas are. So, at the top here is where your power lock button is, and your 3.5mm headphone jack. At the bottom, you have your two speakers on the sides here, and then your Apple port right there. So, let's go on the back here. We have our 8 megapixel camera with our LED flash. This camera can record in 1080p. We have our shiny Apple logo, and in case you didn't know what phone you bought, you have iPhone, so it tells you. Okay, I will say that this phone, the hardware inside is really good. I'm probably overly impressed with it. I will say this is my first Android, or not Android, I'm sorry, device. This is my first Apple device. I've never owned a MacBook or anything prior. I will say I like the organizational structure here. You can click on these, and they're kind of like folders. You can put your apps in them. I like that. That's a very cool feature. It kind of reminds me of the collapsible feature of the LG Lucid in the app drawer. I like how you can scroll over and search for whatever you're searching for. I do like how you can move everything around, Docker and all. So it does add some customization. I do like how you can double tap the home button and you can switch between your open or suspended, I should say, apps. So now we are running on, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. I have 3 bars on Verizon 3G. And I'm going to do a little bit of speed test here. I got an app from speedtest.net. And this is on strictly Verizon's network. I will say there's been some network issues going on here in this area. As you can see, the ping's going very slow. But in fact, it is going extremely slow. It has not started. So I'm not overly impressed with Verizon's network here recently, but we're trying to get that fixed. I will say Siri is kind of a cool feature. Probably one of the best voice-activated assistants that I've worked with. I'm not a phone expert. A couple things I don't like about the iPhone. Well, one more thing I do like about the iPhone is this 3.5-inch display here is very crystal clear. For the tech people, it has a very high pixels, or PPI, I think it is. I can't remember the pixel resolution off the top of my head, but it's very clear. I really like the clarity of it. It's also very responsive. Now the iPhone 4S comes with a dual-core processor, I believe underclocked actually at 800 megahertz. So from my experience, I think it's very good with multitasking. If you're in Facebook and you get out to, I don't know, find navigation, I think it works fairly well. I've never really had it slow down. I will say the battery life is fairly good. I can get almost a day and a half out of it, which is pretty good for a smartphone, I think. A lot of the smartphones I've had in the past, the battery doesn't work very well. It doesn't last very long. What I don't like is that it doesn't have a micro SD expansion. You can't take this black plate off to get to the battery, and you cannot expand the memory inside of it. That's kind of a letdown. I'm used to the Android. You can pop a micro SD card in there. But that may not be an issue to you guys. Or it may. Who knows? That in itself is another issue. You can't take the battery out if it goes bad. Well, you can, but it could void your warranty. I also don't like that the iOS 5, this operating system here, doesn't come with a very good navigation system built in. Right now I'm using MapQuest, and you can download that free here at the App Store. But I'm not very fond of the navigation system. It doesn't seem to work very fast. I'm just not a big fan of it. I like the Google navigation better. But that is what it is. I think the quality of the apps are better on Apple, and I think it's because they have a stricter policy. I'm not quite sure, but a lot of the Android apps don't seem as best quality. I know I have a racing game on here called GT Free Plus, and it is an amazing racing game. It's totally free. So overall, I think it's a great phone. My major issues, are the no micro SD expansion and the fact that it doesn't have a navigation system. So if you're a person that constantly uses your navigation system, granted it does come with Google Maps, it'll tell you the location, but it doesn't really give you a good turn-by-turn navigation. You might want to go with an Android phone. I know the Droid Razr Max is supposed to have great battery life as well. Granted, I've never actually used one. But, so yes, that is my quick review, I guess, of the Apple iPhone 4S. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. As well as you guys can tell me what you guys think. Please try not to go, Android sucks, Apple rules, Apple sucks, Android rules, back and forth. Just try to have a kind of more of a civilized conversation about it. Why don't you like the phone? What features do you like, didn't like, stuff of that nature. But I think that does it for me, guys. Have a great day.